Orleans, I have to dress like this. You need beads, need a loud shirt. But you know what else happens when I come here? I think of the Saints come marching in, because the Saints play football in the Dome every Sunday. But now when you're a monster truck and your name is Gravedigger, you are hardly a saint. Hi everybody, I'm Dan Moriarty. Welcome to TNN's Motor Madness Monster Jam. What's on tap this week? Well, a lot. Like always, the finals of last week's monster trucks. We got that. We got Quad Wars, always a fan favorite. And we have sand drags, the thunder body kind. In a flash, here's what happened last week. Now, by you boys, take it away. Doesn't it feel festive this evening? And by the way, do you have your beads on? I can loan you some.
No, Dan, we'll let you handle the beads here tonight. We're ready for some monster truck racing, though. We got our engines ready to roar here tonight, and I think we're going to have a great show as we're down to our semifinals here in New Orleans. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Hogwood, along with Scott Douglas. Excited about this show in the Superdome tonight.
Absolute all-star Final Four lineup. It is really going to be Star Wars when we hit the track for the semifinals. Let's look who's here for the Final Four. You've got Monster Patrol, Paul Schaefer bringing that big Chevrolet into town. The red-hot Ford, Gunslinger. Scott Hartsock's back with us tonight.
And maybe an underdog tonight. Samson is here. And then, of course, there's the big favorite, Gravedigger. A lot of Digger fans here in the Superdome tonight.
Now, here's how they're going to match up as we get to the semifinals. You'll see that it's going to be Monster Patrol squaring off with Samson, then Gunslinger against Gravedigger. Remember, Gunslinger has had everybody's number of late. Digger wants to get him.
And we've got a lot of other action here tonight as well. Sand drags here in New Orleans. That's always a fun event. And our Quad Wars are back. You'll want to stay tuned. All the action is coming up straight ahead right here on TNN's Motor Madness Monster Jam.
All right, now look at this. This is called a ski mogul. It's dirt, it's sand, it's mud, there's no snow, but that's what Jargon Jam's about. But hold on, there's more. And here's the rest. Crush Cars, tonight's Jargon Jam.
The ski mobiles or whip-de-doos. I prefer them as whip-de-doos. That's what we got at this track tonight. We got one big mobile, the first mobile we start on.
We call them whoop-de-doos. Now, Digger, he's from South Carolina, and that's a whole different story, you know. So their dictionary and mine is not the same.
I said, well, these whip-de-doos could mess you up, especially your first run out. So more than likely, I'll mess up my first run.
If you land too far on off the first jump, you done lost the race.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. You're done, because that second jump is going to throw you so out of whack. It's that simple. I mean,
You're done from the beginning.
You're done right there.
If we got a good ramp, we never touch the cars. That leaves them an uncrushed car situation. Now, if it's a short ramp or something like that, you're going to hit the cars, and actually you're going to have crushed cars at the end of the night. You get to go out there and actually mutilate the cars. Then you become scrap iron.
I didn't realize smashing the cars was that technical, but you talk to Scott, you learn all kinds of things.
I didn't either. There is Samson, who is in the semifinals against Monster Patrol. You see both trucks staging, getting ready to go here. And Samson has not won yet, but he's been the fast qualifier in every round.
Of course, that comes to an end now. We're at the semifinals. No longer can you advance by being the fastest qualifier in a previous round. It's now win or put it on the trailers. Let's look at our full-on field for the semis.
Dan Patrick behind the wheel of Samson. He's a veteran. He knows now no more fast qualifying. He's got to win. He's going to be going after it against Monster Patrol. Monster Patrol has been running great here in New Orleans.
He's been as smooth as anybody, and Paul Schaefer has had the power on the straightaways, and he's cornered very, very well. I would have to say Monster Patrol's a solid favorite here, unless Dan Patrick can figure out a way to get through that corner a lot smoother and then be straight and squared up for the end of the course so that he can really use that Hemi and power on to the finish.
There you get a look at Monster Patrol. The trucks are staged. We are ready to go. And remember, this is a U course. The turn is very, very critical. So is the beginning. Looks pretty even early. Monster Patrol may have a little edge heading into this turn. And as they make it, here comes Samson over the crush cars. Boy, it's very, very close.
It appears Samson held him off at the finish. Again, remember now, it's not where they land. It's the yellow cones that's marked the finish line, but there's the key. Samson, for the first time tonight, really got through the turn beautifully, and bang, right there at the yellow cones, Samson had the edge by maybe 6 inches.
And you'll remember Dan Patrick told us that he had not found the right line. He'd been searching for it, where he found it then and pulled off of what I consider a little bit of an upset over Paul Schaefer.
Taking another look right here as they come to that finish line, you can see again right there at the yellow finish line. That's the key, folks, as you're watching it. Even though, again, as we've talked about, Paul Schaefer got more distance on the jump. That didn't matter. It's at the finish line where Dan Patrick was the winner.
Tough break for Paul Schaefer, but Dan Patrick, very strong, very smooth. And Dan Moriarty is caught up with a very disappointed Paul Schaefer, the driver of Monster Patrol.
All right, Paul, that was a photo finish. What's your call for being in the cockpit?
Well, I tell you what, when I looked over, I seen him, and I was ahead of him when I seen him when I was up in the air. You know, when I turned the corner down, I hammered all the way, and I gained a lot of speed when I hit the cars, and I flew so much faster over the cars. He might have beat me to the end of the cars, but when I landed, I was probably 2 trucks ahead of him.
Tough break for Paul Schaefer. Gunslinger and Digger, our other semifinal, and we've got that action for you coming up on Monster Jam. You'll want to hang around for this.
This presentation of Motor Madness is being brought to you by wrenchhead.com, your ultimate online automotive superstore. Visit them today at www.wrenchhead.com.
Yo, G. Yo. You
All the bar-banging, 2-wheel, gear-kicking action you love is coming at you as Arena Cross blasts into your town this fall. Catch 3-time champion Buddy Antonez and the best Arena Cross riders in the world. Log on and get tickets now at pacemotorsports.com.
And here we go. We've got one more semifinal to run, and it involves the favorite here in New Orleans, Gravedigger. Dennis Anderson piloting this machine. He is going to be tough to beat, but Gunslinger has his sights set on the Digger.
What a matchup. You've got the hottest truck on the circuit in Gunslinger, the guy who really, as of late, has been knocking Gravedigger off the pedestal, even though Dennis Anderson still has the points lead. Dennis Anderson has something to prove here. You know, he's been on top too long. He doesn't like these new hot shots like Scott Hartsock coming up and stealing the thunder, as he did the last couple of runs in Indianapolis and, of course, back to San Antonio here on Motor Madness.
Both trucks are staged and are just about ready to go here for this semifinal run to see who will match up with Samson in the finals. There's a look at Gunslinger. He is ready.
It is that air of confidence he's giving off right now. He just really believes that he's got these guys' number right now, and certainly for the last few weeks he has. Let's see if he's got enough to take Gravedigger down again here in front of an absolute capacity crowd in the Superdome for this Pace Motorsports action.
Well, you see them on their feet here. There are so many Digger fans. He is obviously the crowd favorite here in the Superdome. That's Digger, who is on the top of your screen, far lane, barely even heading down to the first turn. Wow, what a great job in the turn. What an amazing job by Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger. Digger wins it, and what a job he did handling that truck in the turn.
Scott Hartsock has probably been in the Gunslinger the best turning driver all night until this race, and Dennis Anderson took him to school. What a beautiful turn by the Gravedigger driver, and you can see a big wave to all his fans. Let's watch it from inside with Dennis Anderson. Right back on it. You see, he only feathered it for a minute, and he was able to slide through the turn, keep it straight, and then he hammers. And, of course, at that point, at the end, he didn't care anymore. He runs over something.
What a unique view that was. And here is Scott Hartsock As you can see, he gets off the throttle, now gets back on it, but it just was not enough. Disappointing run for Scott Hartsuck, who loses to the Gravedigger.
All right, we've been talking about Mojo all night. The Mojo ran out in New Orleans.
Hey, this thing's had enough for tonight, you know. We went down there, that ground down there, it's just getting so tacky, you know. We didn't want to take a chance dumping the truck over. We got another big points race with us next weekend here in Houston. You know, Dennis is tough. Dennis is always tough. We pushed him to the limit last weekend. He rolled over, kind of puppy dogged him in the corner and stuffed him away. But, hey, it was his night. We came out here, put this old Mega Power Special in the semifinals. We can't ask for much more than that. You know, we got an unlucky number 3, so it just wasn't meant to be.
Let's watch Digger again as Dennis Anderson hammers.
Boy, it's really fascinating to watch from that low angle. You can really see the power of that front. Let's hear from Dennis Anderson. He's with Dan.
Dennis, you're in the finals one more time. What'd you do? You changed lanes.
Well, I had no choice. We done a little coin toss between me and Scott. Scott's been hammering this left lane all night. I should have jumped over there and tried that right lane earlier, but I said, hey, I'll just take a shot in the dark. I had no choice. I don't like to take off over there as good as I do on this side. But anyhow, I won. Charged hard, coming out of the turn. Pulled off a wind, and hey, I'm going to the finals now, man. I haven't turned over yet.
I mean, Gunslinger's been hot coming into this weekend, too. He's a guy who's been wrecking with the past couple weeks. He's been winning. He just won't give up.
No, Scott's a good guy, though, man. He's a good driver. He's got one of the faster Ford trucks out here on the circuit right now, and hey, I just love beating those Fords.
Now it's time for some quad wars and a couple of teams here tonight who have had disappointing seasons to this point. We're talking about New Orleans and Nashville. They do have a chance to move up, but both have really not lived up to their potential, either team.
Taking a look at the first heat of action again. In the blue is Team Nashville. In the white, the homestanding New Orleans team. And a quick jump for Clyde Hicks, the captain of Nashville, and they never caught him.
Nope. As we look at highlights of that first heat, it was all Clyde Hicks of Nashville, and Nashville trying to bypass New Orleans in the standings, win heat number 1. Coming up, hey, hang on. We're going to show you some real power. We got the Sand Dragsters on Monster Jam.
It's the heart of Arena Cross and the soul of Supercross. Get ready for Ultra Cross. The Moto Stars of tomorrow are here today, and you can watch them shine this November and December. PaceMotorsports.com is the place to get tickets.
As we promised, time for the Sand Drags. These are always a fun part of our monster truck shows. The Spider, driven by Bill Hazelwood, going up against Quicksand.
Chevrolet and Dodge lining up here. The Spider 3, the Chevrolet out of Sherman, Texas, and Quicksand from Gardner, Massachusetts, 99 Dodge Dakota.
And that is Quicksand in the far lane. Quicksand on with the win, and will advance on. Boy, it looked like Spider kind of got bogged down a little bit there.
We're going to give another look at the replay as they come right at you, and you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, Steve Salvador gets a great shot in Quicksand. Had it all the way at a 2.332, a good, solid run. It's going to put him into the shootout round.
There's a look at Magnum Force going up against Never Satisfied. Magnum Force driven by Greg Jones, Never Satisfied by James Carr. There you see Jimmy, who is ready to go. I like the look of Never Satisfied.
Got that Roadster highly modified 510 Rodeck engine, so a lot of power underneath the hood there, while Greg Jones in his 98 Dodge called Magnum Force 522 Chevrolet engine out of the great state of Kentucky.
Great shot for Jimmy. Jimmy Carr in Never Satisfied. Boy, he really got a jump there.
That's one of those when he not only did he get him on the whole shot, it looked like he extended the lead all the way. Magnum Force really never got much off the line and had nothing for him at the end. And what a brilliant pass right there. Perfectly straight, didn't waver at all. Great shot for Jimmy Carr, Never Satisfied.
So Never Satisfied will advance on in our Sand Drag competition. We look at it again, and you see on the left of your screen, Never Satisfied taking the win.
Best time we've seen so far, 1.97 seconds. Under 2 seconds for Never Satisfied.
That's pretty quick. More sand drags coming your way here on Motor Madness.
Will they blast through the rafters? Get to IFMA Freestyle Motocross and see for yourself. If you thought Superman could fly, check out Freestyle and see what a real Superman is. It's rocking the nation, and you can get tickets now at pacemotorsports.com.
More sand drags here in New Orleans. Mike Hogwood and Scott Douglas with you. There's Foolish Pleasure.
That's the young lady who battles the big boys every week here on the U.S. Hot Rod Circuit. Shay Clark and Foolish Pleasure will match up with the Red Devil in this one. Now, the Red Devil is David Hunt. Yeah, out of Anna, Texas. 1998 Chevy Suburban. A lot of roadsters, not many Suburbans on the circuit.
And we'll see how Shay Clark can do in Foolish Pleasure. She's out of Duncanville, Texas. As you see, the machines are staged, and we are ready. It'll take about 2 seconds to get down this track. And it's not easy to get going in this dirt. Wow, Foolish Pleasure has some problems.
Whoa, big problems. Red Devil on his roof. David Hunt had the best shot, won the race, but couldn't get it stopped and under control. And as he tried to keep it on the dirt, twisted it hard, and over she went. Let's watch it again.
I mentioned Foolish Pleasure having a problem getting started, but now watch Red Devil in the lane nearest you. Boy, you start getting sideways like that, you are in a bit of trouble.
You know, at that point, you're kind of in no man's land. Your engine is shut down. All you're trying to do is get this thing under control. But once she started up and over, there wasn't a thing David Hunt could do except hold on for the ride.
Wow.
What happened out there?
A wild ride there at the end. When I got on the brakes, it pulled a hard left. I don't know if I had a brake lock up or an axle brake or what happened. The car really hooked up good and run good. Got a little squirrely in the shutdown area.
I mean, it ran damn well.
Yeah, it's been running good all year. We've been chasing this point series all year and get a little better every week. Tough break for the car, but we'll get it back together.
How you feeling?
I'm fine.
How's the car going to be?
It'll be all right.
That's good. That was a tough ride. Now here's Obsession running by himself.
Greg Belay out of Red Oak, Texas will bring out the 1999 Dodge. And again, everybody in this first round, they're going side by side, but they're trying to qualify among the top 6 to get into the finals that we'll be taking a look at a little bit later here on the show. So right now the key is to get a good run for Obsession here.
Belay gets a little bit sideways there. It's going to hurt his time.
Yeah, but he still got to cross the line, and he still had most of the momentum in the front half of the course. Still, I'm not sure it's going to be fast enough to get near the top. You can see him kind of talking to the crew chief over there as to what happened.
Watch here, as right after he started, just got sideways a little, and that slowed him down.
I think he hooked a rut. I think that's exactly what happened. Sometimes when you get late in the class, that sand will start to rut, and it looked like it just threw him to the side. And indeed, he's down there in 8th. But remember, if any of those trucks above him, like Red Devil, can't come back, he still might get in the finals. Never satisfied, though. Looks like the one to beat.
Never satisfied. It's going to be tough to beat. And we got more Quad Wars coming your way on Motor Madness. Stay with us. Mike Hogwood and Scott Douglas ready now for a United States Hot Rod Association update. We take you to Los Angeles.
This goes back to 1998, January 17th, the LA Coliseum, and you can see Bulldozer and Guy Wood getting around great. And there's the Monster Patrol machine on the West Coast and looking just as strong as he is in New Orleans this weekend.
Monster Patrol always seems to be strong wherever he goes, and whatever coast he's running on, certainly in LA, was good. And there is that Predator having a really good run out in LA.
A little 10,000-pound donut from Paul Schaefer and the Monster Patrol. It's, you know, for years and years, the USHRA has always been the best in monster truck action. Here, the folks in LA got to look at it firsthand, and a great show from Gravedigger and Monster Patrol there in LA.
Those two giving us a pretty good show here as well. Now, Quad Wars, heat number 2. You'll remember Nashville won heat 1. Let's see what happened in heat 2. We got some highlights of this event.
Well, it's critical to try and get things evened up, and it looked for a while like New Orleans was in trouble. The homestanders lose one of their quads. However, the rider gets back up and gets it going into the field. Now, at the front, as we came to the finish, it was Randy Dinkins, the captain for Team New Orleans, even in the score for the night with a victory.
That's good. That will force a third heat.
Well, New Orleans, you came back and had a good run.
Yeah, I did. You know, Sean Cimini from Team Nashville was talking a whole lot of smack out there a little while earlier.
But I tell you what, I think a comeback showed his crew a little bit of what I got. I tell you what, the main event looking to be a real treat. It ought to be a good show for everybody here.
One more run, what's going to happen?
Well, it's like I just told him. You know, everybody says 50-50 now. We got one win apiece. But I just told him, Sean Cimini doesn't have one thing I got. That's 60,000 people from New Orleans right here, and they're all cheering for me. If that's not an advantage, I don't know what is.
Now, besides coming back in the second run, what'd you guys change as far as your race strategy?
Oh, definitely the race strategy is definitely going to change. That's because of little people with attitudes like he's got right here. But I can tell you right now, we'll team up stronger than NWO ever did, and we'll come back stronger than ever. You'll see.
You got it. Thanks, man.
Wait a minute. Uh-oh. Well, I saw Dan get out of there in a hurry for good reasons, and Randy Dinkins, like he's double teamed here.
This isn't real smart with two of the Nashville guys down there to kind of, I guess you got to stand up for yourself. And Bob Dwyer, the U.S. Hot Rod flagman and starter, is going to need some help to break these guys apart. We still got to get them back for the feature. It's not going to be pretty. Oh, my. Come on, guys. Let's calm down and race. That's Sean Cimini right there that Randy was kind of talking some trash to a little earlier, and Cimini had his share of it earlier, too.
Well, tempers flying in the Quad Wars. We got sand drags and more monster truck action coming up on TNN's Motor Madness. Mike Hogwood, Scott Douglas, and we are ready for another sand drag run. Obsession and Never Satisfied. Both of these guys have a lot to run for right here.
Well, this is the final run of the shootout, and basically, both of them need to get down under 2 seconds to have a shot at the victory, as we're going to take a look right here at Never Satisfied. Jimmy Carr's had a great night, was very strong in the first round, but remember, Obsession looked good, caught a rut, maybe could have had a much better run. Let's see what he can do if he gets a clean shot here.
And Never Satisfied has compiled some really good runs tonight. And we'll remember that one that was under 2 seconds. He has really been strong all night. Would have to be the favorite here.
Watch those Christmas tree lights when they go green. It's showtime. Boy, they came across the line absolutely together and Never Satisfied actually getting the job done. You can watch them right there. Never Satisfied. James Carr from Trenton, New Jersey, is going to take it to the winner's circle here tonight in New Orleans.
Oh, it was a great run by Obsession, but Never Satisfied, a little bit too strong.
Chris, those sand drags, those thunder bodies are pulling a lot out there.
Yeah, they're working pretty good for us. The fans seem to like them, too.
Oh, I mean, what's the power like back then when you sit in the seat and your head goes flying back in the start?
2,200 horsepower, wide open across the sand. It's a rush. I can't describe it.
How was the course?
It was good. My first pass was a little rough. It was a little rough. I headed toward the wall. Second pass, we made a few adjustments, went straight as a string.
And straight as the string, good enough to finish second overall. Never Satisfied, though, had a pretty darn good night.
Thrilling sand drags and the crowd, the capacity crowd in the Superdome loves this Pace Motorsports action.
Well, we've got heat number 3 of Quad Wars. You want to hang around for that. It's going to get interesting. Also, our Monster Finals on the way.
You love the rev, you love the rumble, you love the monsters, and we've got the tickets at pacemotorsports.com. Monster Jam is back, and it's everywhere you want to be this fall with the baddest trucks in the business. Get your tickets today.
And we're ready to resume Quad Wars. Remember, Heat 1, it was Nashville, a winner. New Orleans trying to hold on to 6th place in the overall standings. Nashville's in 7th. So New Orleans came back strong. Randy Dinkins, the captain, comes away with a win, and we're ready now for Heat 3. And Dinkins and the captain for Nashville, Sean Cimini, will be the key players here.
Cimini's now on the number 4 quad, too.
Right.
Keep your eyes on that. So they've got a little change as we come into the final. We expect those guys to be near or at the front. That's why, you know, they're captains, they're winners, and certainly both teams have accomplished racers. You get a good look at Bob Dwyer, the starter for the U.S. Hot Rod Association at tonight's action, telling them right there, everybody ready? Here we go.
He signaled that they're ready, and he is ready to start. The green flag is out, and they'll try to get that hole shot to the first turn, and it's a bottleneck there. My, one quad flips over.
That that was Dinkins, the captain for New Orleans, in the middle of that mess, too. That's going to hurt Team New Orleans big time, although we do get the early lead from Jason Watts of Team New Orleans. Watts is now going to have to handle it without his captain. Randy Dinkins is way at the back of the pack at this point.
And Bruce Pierce from Nashville comes right on up to the front as well.
Whoa, that was an ugly start, and I'll tell you, it couldn't have worked out better for Nashville, as the Invaders, you can see, they actually have 4 riders in the top 5. Remember, Quad Wars and Pace Motorsports U.S. Hot Rod Competition is a team event. The only thing that matters, though, is who crosses the line first.
Exactly, and so if you're out front, you definitely want to stay there, and your teammates are going to work and try to block the opposing team to try to keep you out in front.
That's the thing right now. He's got to stay out front. If Pierce gets past, he's really going to have a hard time getting back in the front spot. Oh, and here he goes. Sam Gregan from Nashville has actually taken the lead, and now it's up to Pierce to get back around him. Otherwise, as you mentioned, he's going to start getting picked, and here comes Samini. Samini's on the 4-quad.
Sean Samini on that 4-quad did a great job of recovering after. Oh, he gets bumped. Look at the block there.
That's what we're talking about.
There's the block.
And Samini's one of the best on the circuit at this, especially with his teammate out front. But look at Pierce come back. Wow.
And Sean so many times has tried to do that block and has been successful at it.
But Jason Pierce got the lead back. I'm impressed with Samini trying to take him out. If he could have gotten him completely off the track, it'd been all over because it's all blue shirts. But right now, Nashville and New Orleans are side by side.
They are side by side as they swing around and swing that dirt as they come down and go over the jumps. And again, it is Jason Pierce who is in the lighter colored shirt, who is from the home-standing New Orleans team. He is the team's hope. The team's captain, Randy Dinkins, kind of taken out on that first turn. And here is Pierce, and you can hear the crowd in the background on its feet, trying to cheer him on. Oh, my, and he gets blocked and bumped there. It's going to be a road win for Nashville.
It's just so hard, Mike, 2-on-1 when you get in that situation. If Pierce could have stayed out front, he was going to be able to get the win. But once Samini got around him and he had Gregan there with him, basically what you saw in the last lap was Samini slow up, that forced the contact, and then Gregan nailed him from the side. Again, it was a team effort. And boy, you can see Samini is celebrating, and he's not making many friends down here in New Orleans tonight. But nonetheless, Nashville comes away with an impressive victory.
Let's take a look at it again as they come over to take the checkers. Sean Samini has got it. And you know, as usual, tempers are really hot. There's something going on down on this floor. There's a lot of discussions between these two teams who do not like each other.
But I'll tell you what I will do, just to show you and your cocky little buddy who is the best one. Me and my best guy will take on you and your best guy right now. 3 laps, no holds barred, no rules. That means if we get off the track, cut. Hey, man, put on your helmet. It's your game.
Wow, remember this? Randy Dinkins, after he won, he got into a little bit of a brawl.
Now, this setup where we're at now is certainly we're going to settle it on the track 2-on-2. That's what's going to happen.
We will have what's called a grudge match here, and I guess this is the real way to settle it. Samini and Dinkins are the primary combatants.
You can see this crowd in New Orleans is behind the guys in the white shirts. And they want to see him knock these Nashville guys off. Sean Samini hasn't made any friends here in New Orleans. And right now, the guys in the white shirts might as well have white hats on because the New Orleans crowd is really behind them.
Well, the quads are ready. Our starter is ready. Here, our grudge match is underway.
Great start for Nashville. Both of their quads get right out as Gregan and Samini bust to the front.
Gregan and Samini are out, and oh my.
Dinkins got a sliding in around the pole. Remember, they say no holds barred. I don't think anybody's worried about the rules.
I was going to say, Dinkins took a shortcut to take that lead there, but I guess it doesn't matter.
At this point, it's whoever wins. That's all anybody cares about. It is nobody's happy here. Nobody's friendly. Everybody just wants to beat the other guy and embarrass him. And right now, New Orleans has moved back out in front. Randy Dinkins has the lead, but we're not to the finish yet.
We see Gregan there trying to just knock him off a little bit.
Kind of use that body block. You know, if you can move your guy out of the way and your teammate slides through, you still accomplish exactly what you want to. And that's your team winning. And here goes Dinkins again to the front.
Randy Dinkins is quite a talented rider in these quads.
Really slides through the turns well. You can see Randy Dinkins has Team New Orleans out front, but it's not enough of a lead to get comfortable as he's got 2 blue shirts right on his tail.
White flag is out. Final time in this grudge match. Can Randy Dinkins hold on to the home-standing New Orleans team? We'll see. It's not going to be easy. Oh, my! Flipping it over is Samson as he tried to take him out. It didn't work, and Randy Dinkins is rolling.
Now he's just got to hold off Brecken and get it to the finish line. Samson took his shot, didn't get it, and indeed, Randy Dinkins is going to be the winner as they come to the checkered flag. How about that?
Randy Dinkins wins. The crowd loves it. Sean Samson tried a move that just didn't work. Really backfired on him.
Now, his idea clearly was to take Dinkins out. Even if he went with him, he had planned to take Dinkins with him, figuring Brecken would get across the line first. But it backfired on the Nashville rider, and Team New Orleans is the winner.
Well, Randy Dinkins has to be excited about getting the victory here in front of the home-standing crowd. Let's check in with him.
That was one heck of a final.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
Runs. Gravedigger, though, as they are off, has been really tough here.
And Gravedigger's been good on every part of the course. He's been fast off the start, great in the turn, and looky here. He's done it again.
Gravedigger did it in the turn and comes on to take the win to the delight of the crowd here in the Superdome. The Digger is celebrating. We're going to look at that run again because it was awfully strong, perhaps his best of the night.
On the replay, you see he gets a great start as he has done all night. Again, I love the way he was the one guy who found if you just get a little of the concrete, it sets the turn up. He was brilliant on the turn all night and then just hammered it in the end. Samson, let's take a look at him on the isolated run here because Patrick, you can see the front end came up on him just a little bit. That cost him some time, and the turn didn't go that well. Unfortunately for Dan, he was just not able to make up the ground at the end of the course. Another look at Digger's turn right here. That's how a winning run looks from inside the cockpit.
And we heard Dennis Anderson talking about how you have to just feather that throttle and be very, very careful. He's a master at it.
This is what the fans love, the freestyle at a Pace Motorsports event. Look at these guys. They're just tearing the place up just for the fans right now.
And nobody is better at freestyling than Digger. He really can put on a show. We have seen this in so many different arenas, out on the concrete doing the 360s. Dan, Patrick, and Samson also trying to get some air and put on a show for the fans here.
They love this. Samson just did some great donuts on the other side, and you see Digger. Dennis is everywhere tonight. Concrete, dirt, holes, he just doesn't care. He's going to go on over every inch of this Superdome floor. Look at him go. This is fun. This is what you get when you go to Pace Motorsports event, is Digger comes on over just to finish third. Look out! Look out, he's on his lid.
Oh, wow. The crowd is roaring, but I don't think that Dennis Anderson had that planned at all, as you see some of our safety crew running over there to him.
Right now we're trying to make sure he's all right, make sure he gets out of there, because he took a nasty little flip right there, right at the edge of the crushed cars. And there he is. You see the helmet out. Dennis is out, and it looks like he's no worse for wear. Wow. That was an ugly spill right there, but I'll tell you, the crowd is absolutely on its feet and going bananas.
Well, our winner here tonight, Dennis Anderson, who was saying, hey, I didn't mean to do that, guys. I really didn't.
Wow.
Just trying to put on a show, and he really did.
Oh, he has trashed the body of the truck for sure. And you just, until they get it back on all fours and get a look underneath, you don't know the damage that's done to the rest of it. Matter of fact, he's kind of looking a little ginger as he comes out of there, walking gingerly. But boy, he sure thrust that arm in the air. He knows the fans love it.
And to hear the cheers of 60,000 people sure make you feel better in a hurry. Let's look at this again. And oh,
see, he caught the barrier there in the center. That throws him up. Look how much air he gets right down on the nose. There was no saving that once he caught that barrier that went through the two sand drag lanes. He was done.
And Scott, wow, that was quite a jolt. You know, we saw him a look of a little bit of a pain on his face for a moment there, but you see, this has got to hurt a little bit.
Look how high that truck is. Out. All fours, and then it comes down right on its nose. Incredible. I think we're going to get a shot to see this from inside. Let's see what Dennis saw. Watch here. Wow. Whoa.
Ooh. That didn't.
I'm telling you, the folks in New Orleans got a lot of Gravedigger. Not only did he win, he gave him a show and a half after it was over.
Hey, no doubt, man. With the freestyle, was pretty wild. And I tell you what, you fans watching TV out there, if they don't show this freestyle on TV, I'm going to be mad. Because I didn't get to see it. When you're riding it, you can feel it, but you don't get to see it. And sometimes it looks pretty cool after you guys edit, do your little touch to it. But hey, man, if it wasn't for the fans, we had a full house. Everybody's hooping and hollering Gravedigger. I was here to win. Oh, Scott with Gunslinger, he'd been cocky a couple weeks, so told him, oh, young boy's going to have to be knocked down a little bit. And we done it, and here we are. We got a tore-up truck. And thanks to my crew guys, Clifford Thomas and Josh Garcia. If it wasn't for those guys, I wouldn't be racing either, along with my fans. Thanks a lot.
I gotta tell you, you say we edit things up, make it look cool. We don't have to touch that footage. That looked awesome.
All right, good deal, man. I didn't get to see it. Maybe I'll see it on TV myself.
You will. Keep your eye on Dennis. Fantastic weekend.
All right, thanks a lot.